Guys, welcome back to Clockwork Dandy Needles for another trip on the trauma train. We are breaking down episode 8 of Made in Abyss. My goodness, another bumpy ride, but I have a feeling last week set me up ready. I was readying myself to see what horrors this week's episode would have. Hello and welcome back, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. The midway review is already up for your viewing leisure. Go check out what I crowned top 3 OPs, EDs and the current anime of this season. Go check out if Made in Abyss is in that video. It could be somewhere in there. It was quite refreshing to see Fapita pretty willing to help Reg fulfill a promise. She would do anything and literally brutally snapping off her own limbs to get Reg to fulfill the promise. And obviously right at the start we're like, oh, what could this promise be? By the end, I fully understand her ripping off her own arms. I understand why she would feel the way that she does. Good morning, trauma train. I barely have time to settle down and we're already getting to ripping off some limbs within the first minute of this anime. Trauma so soon. Time seems to have passed. Irumyuri is a mass of cells. A literal mass of cells. She's no longer even recognisable. No longer got those ears. They're all gone. At first I thought, yeah, those are the ears that Fapta has. Nah. I was so wrong. I'm so sad. I wasn't in the wrong vein. I was just wrong with quite a few of my predictions. Brutal what happens to her. Yet her babies are still being born theoretically without something. They're all missing something. I did initially wonder if it was the soul, but we do see the souls of the unborn at the end. I'm almost wondering if maybe they weren't dying and it was something to do with Waku and he was making them die, maybe. I don't trust him, and even more reason to this week, especially this week. Irumyuri ends up in a cycle of heartache and pain, and it's very similar to what I thought Mitty was, where Mitty was just her existence needed to end because it was pain forever and ever. This is even worse. This is like Mitty times 1,000, and Mitty is still a bad situation. Do start with a nice fresh dose of baby murder this week as we are brutally ending the lives even before they even die naturally. And this definitely has to be the most brutal thing this season. I don't even know what else is airing this season that's even on the same scale as brutal, but this is brutal. This is probably the most brutal thing that's even hit this year. And the only thing I could think that could beat it for brutality is either going to be in Chainsaw Man or it's going to be To Your Eternity, because that really did get pretty brutal. So it's going to be one of those two things that try and reason with it. But I do think if we have a brutal award, it's going to this anime. Waku knows something, and I'm just still sus about him. We do get to see his end form, and I'm shocked it's that character because I didn't actually think it was. All this time I've been going, I wonder who he turns into. I wonder which sage it is that we've seen and whether maybe he died or something. It's the one with the spiral on the face, and I am so shocked that it's him because he's the fun one. He's the one that goes yay, and I'm like, oh, he's so innocent or fun and he's chill. He's not. I just feel like he knew something. I feel like he knew how to get down there, and he probably even willingly knew what was going to happen, and he's happily put a child through a never-ending nightmare, a never-ending cycle of torment, pain, heartache, forever and ever. There's no ending to this. This will go on forever until Fapta, if Fapta can find a way of ending everything. But I still believe as well that she's too young to understand what it is that she even wishes. Giving a child a wish, to me, is stupid, because at the age of 6, I definitely wanted something very different than what I do now. 6-year-old me is probably going to have a mountain of sugar and have diabetes by the end of it all. I just don't think it's very responsible giving a child the ability to make a wish, and I think that's the point. But I did start to side with Ver. I believed it was right. Just standing by watching this nightmare unfold was just too much. I too would rather just go insane, end it all, and quite a few times we try and see Ver giving up. And it's the same with Beleth as well. He tries to starve himself. I'm pretty sure he tries to starve himself, but it's actually Ver who keeps feeding him to try and keep him alive. So if anything, Ver doesn't want to be part of the nightmare, but she's still doing what she can to further the nightmare for Beleth when Beleth is trying to kill himself. But we were told that Irumyuri got sick when Ver also got sick, and her getting sick pretty much almost destroyed her. So a second egg was given, and I'm like, where are these eggs coming from? These eggs have got to be coming from somewhere, and how did he know where to find the second egg? Did that mean that she got a second wish? Because the second wish turns her into a home, a safe haven for all of the people. They're trapped, and she literally becomes a village. And I don't know if that is the second wish or whether that was just forced upon her, but it's the realization we see on Ver's face this week. Waku starts to seem more and more sinister. He seems to know that we've got a final wish coming, and he knows what she actually wants. It's just the way that he acts, and especially when he tries to stop Ver from killing herself. It's like, oh, okay, you know that you've got to keep this person alive at all costs, or your own dream's not going to happen. People literally ate baby just to get picked off and die before we even get to the final sequence. It's rough. This is an entire episode of roughness. The tree that literally holds the village. Irumyuui became the tree. I'm shocked. I literally thought it was Fapta, and some of you guys who knew the manga, thank you guys so much for not saying anything, even though I was wrong. It must have been frustrating for you hearing me go, oh yeah, she's totally Fapta. She looks like her. No, she looks like her because she's related to her. So she's got all of those genetics, but she's not the same person. But I was so wrong. She's literally the tree, and there's the barrier. And oddly enough, Fapta's not allowed in the barrier, which is quite confusing to me. She does become a literal god. Irumyuui becomes a god. We see Beleth take on his snaky form. Everyone going, oh my god, it's so beautiful. You've taken on a new form. I'm just going like, did anybody else apart from Ver not think that was so horrific, so nightmarish that you just want out? I want to stop the trauma train, jump out the window and get the F out of here. Because to me, that wasn't beautiful. That was horrific and nightmarish. And we're just gonna all need therapy. Everybody in this village needs some therapy right now. But Ver is the only one who really seems to see the reality of it. We literally see a group of people so hopeful. They want to go and find their place in life. They ended up losing their humanity to the point that nobody even longer wanted to hold on to their human form. They were happy to give up their human forms for a place to belong, a place that they maybe have thought they'd been searching for. Irumyuui literally became home, the village, the golden city that probably didn't even exist in the first place before they even got there. And we knew that Ver said no. She told us originally that she couldn't go along with the plan, so she said no. She was dumped in the pit, couldn't go along with the madness, and she literally tries to end it. It reminds me of the moment from Alien. I think it's Alien 3 where she literally just gives up. She tries to stop it all by ending her own life. Ver definitely seems aware that if she dies, Irumyuui will also die. Her wish depends on me also being here. When Waku tries to stop her from doing that, it's because he doesn't want his wish to come to an end. He himself seems to have wished for a place, a home. We do get to see him in the final form. Again, I'm so shocked it's him. And it's him who ends up saving Ver to trap her forever, imprisoning her within the deepest, darkest point of the village that allows her to stay connected to Irumyuui. Irumyuui, by this point, she can't even speak. It's just that moment where she tries to end everything in a way that Ripley would and allow Irumyuui some peace because she can't believe that Irumyuui would make that decision. Sadly, I don't think she did. I feel like she made the decision that she wanted kids, but she didn't know what she was wishing for. So she made the wish unknowing of, as a kid, you're naive. You just think it's simple. Having a kid is having a kid. You don't understand the pain that comes with it. She knew what her wish was, but she just didn't understand what it would entail. Now she's stuck in this never-ending cycle, which of course Ver doesn't want to believe that Irumyuui would choose this horrific life. She made a wish and didn't read the terms and conditions, except the terms and conditions at this point weren't even written. She signed up without even looking at the situation because she's just a kid. She didn't know what else she wanted to do. There in the pit, surrounded by all of the beings, the souls of the unborn, we're told that this is the closest to Irumyui's feelings. We also are told that the pit continues to call out to those who have a longing. That itself is the very fibre of the abyss. It's probably in the season 1 at some point somebody says that the abyss calls to everybody. It makes me wonder if the reason why people get drawn down into the abyss is because of her. Have we maybe uncovered one of the biggest secrets of the abyss, that Irumyuui down there is calling people down there? Because in my head, Waku led them all down there. He's the one who took them all down there in the first place. So now that we've got a being down there who is home and calls that the abyss, calling out to all those lost souls to find a place at the bottom, does make me wonder if they've now created this big pull, the attraction that the abyss even has. It also makes me wonder if Waku can see even further into the future. Does he predict the coming of Rico and Reg? Does he know it was all going to happen? Let's talk about Fapta. She is Irumyui's final child. So I'm guessing whilst everybody was so preoccupied with the new forms, their new home, she was able to finally have her wish. She had her final wish come true. It came out alive, it succeeded to live, and it has also taken in her wishes. Her deepest wishes are within Fapta. Apparently as well, she's also inherited the egg. 3 eggs involved, 3 cradle wishes, the ones on her head. Those are the eggs that were given to Irumyuui. I only thought she had 2 eggs, so they must have given her a 3rd, or she is the 3rd. Terrifying that maybe the 2nd egg was needed to get Fapta to finally live. And that also makes me wonder, did all those other babies just die? Did they just die like that? If we've got souls, and we even see that Fair is surrounded by the souls of the unborn, I mean, they've definitely got souls, so why are the babies just not living past a few days? Is Waku even more sinister than I'm even thinking? But we do get some final retribution. Who else was just so happy and punching the air with joy, seeing Fapata destroying those coming to try and grab her? I honestly, that to me made the pain of watching these 2 episodes worth it. Seeing her destroying those people who have put her mother into a cycle of endless torment forever and ever. The poor Irumyuui is nothing more than a tree and suffering. There were points when I just felt so angry for what was happening to poor Irumyuui, as she's still at heart a child. She's nothing more than a child who needed to be guided and given love, as opposed to forced to bear the wishes of the older people who wanted that home to be real, who forced that wish upon her to bear it. And that is just living vicariously through a child, which I hate. So we do catch up with the modern day. We come back, we've come full circle. Ver has told us the story. Everybody now understands the story a bit more. Obviously, Reg has gone to reason with Fapta. We found out there's a wish over there. That wish, she literally wants to free her mother, end it all, destroy the village, watch it all burn. I don't blame her. I do think it's going to be sad that all these people are going to lose their homes, but at the same time, it's coming at such a high cost. Is it even worth it? It was a bit strange that Rico was telling Ver to go and reason with Fapata to not destroy the village, but at the same time it feels bad leaving Irumyuui in that state. In my eyes, yeah, she may have made a wish, but she didn't realise what lengths that wish was going to take her to. But I did think it was a bit weird that Fapta can't go through the membrane due to her nature. Is that because she wants to harm the village? Maybe Irumyuui sensed the harm that is going to come to the village. Does Irumyuui maybe not want to be destroyed because she thinks that Ver is down there? And also, what is now the repercussions of Ver leaving the chamber? She's no longer connected to Irumyuui. She's now out of that pit. Does Irumyuui sense this? Does she know that she's gone? I feel a lot more informed with where we are now in the plot. I do feel like I know a lot more thanks to these 2 episodes, as brutal as they were. I understand where we're coming from. I understand what Fapta's trying to do. Fapta's trying to watch the entire world burn and get retribution for those who did horrific, nightmarish things to her mother. I don't blame her, honestly. I don't know how I feel about destroying the village, but at the same time, I feel like the village should never have existed in the first place. They made a bad call. They got sick. It's bad. It's all part of exploring the unknown. To the lengths they've gone to make this village a thing, I don't know if I feel like it should exist. I feel like Reg did the right thing in season 1, and now I feel like Fapta's doing the right thing by destroying the village, which is probably an unpopular opinion, so I'm sorry guys if you don't feel the same. Anime is going to take a different route anyway, because I do think there is more of the opinion that the city is better now, it's bigger, it's better. She's probably coming to see it as a good thing. I'm sure that's the route we're probably going to go down. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the trauma train. I hope you guys are going to recover now, because I think you guys said it was these 2 episodes which were the hard ones. We survived, we've made it through the heavy episodes. Where are we going next? What are we going to do with Fapta? Are Reg and Fapta going to work together? I guess that's actually the promise that she made. How did Reg become a thing? Because at some point Reg met Fapta. Did Fapta make Reg is the big question I've got. So she then made him to fulfill her wish. You've got to go and do something to fulfill a wish, but I don't understand the middle bit. I understand what she's trying to do. I don't understand where Reg went to go and get something and then come back. I've got a few questions, a few more bits missing, but I do feel a lot more informed this week. Thank you guys so much. I hope you've got a good weekend planned. You're looking after yourselves. I will see you for hopefully less trauma next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.